Alright gang, I'll try and make this quick. My last video was long and boring, I realize. This right here is the transmission arrangement for sale. So obviously we have the transmission itself here, the JZX 110 shifter housing. We've got a short throw shifter here, which has been modified, and to take this this gooseneck shifter that I made, and that's adjustable for height, as you can see, and can also swing so that you can put it where you want it to be. This is just a shaft collar here, so when you tighten the pinch bolts, this thing locks on there. It is rock solid like a bank vault. It's good to go. The transmission does have the reverse position for your reverse lights. It has a vehicle speed this plugs right into the IS300 and the reverse works. This is a vehicle speed sensor, and my car is plugged into that. I thought that IS300s with a manual got the vehicle speed from the wheel speed, but so I don't know if that actually is doing anything or not, but it was plugged in and my speedo works. Over here we have, I think, what is an old school mechanical style vehicle speed signal for like Mark IIIs or something. I'm not super familiar. This was not plugged in. That plug is kind of beat up and ugly, if you can see that. I just have that in there basically acting as a plug. Oh, I'll also mention this is like sort of an adapter right here, because for that bolt to line up there, that rotates the connector into the housing, so it just kind of has a little adapter plate to make it work. No leaks, it's all good. Here we have a Prothane transmission mount, bolts right down to this IS300 cross member here. However, that whole cross member needs to be lower in the car for this transmission to get it to clear the tunnel, and also to set the correct drive shaft angle. So that's what these spacer blocks are for. Those mount between the top of the cross member and the bottom of the chassis. There's also some silicone rubber isolators just to kind of keep vibration down. So moving along, you get the slave cylinder. It's got the bolts to hold it on. You have the master cylinder. That's stock out of an IS300. Drift motion stainless line. And you got the throw out fork here. Still, you have the accordion boot on the slave cylinder. As you can see, that's nice and tight. You get the bolts for the bell housing onto the block. Also, those two are for your starter. So here we have the clutch. That's the drift motion aluminum flywheel. That's pretty light. ARP pressure plate bolts holding that guy on, and the throw out bearing is on the other side here. This whole setup has right about 1,500 miles on it, like I was saying before. You get the clutch alignment tool, not that you would use it on an IS300 anyway. A brand new pilot bearing that is not used. And let me see if I can't get kind of some different angles. Forgive me, I'm not looking at my camera screen now, but I'm trying to give you some angles of that friction surface. This flywheel has, I understand, about 5,000 miles on it. That came when I bought the car, but this friction, the steel ring, was installed new with this clutch. There's really just no signs of heat or cracking or scoring or anything ugly. It looks good to go. Obviously this clutch has almost no miles on it, so these ceramic clutches last forever. So it's ready for service. Hopefully, by moving my head all around in the light, hopefully you're getting some angles on that work. Comes with this drift motion aluminum drive shaft. U-joints are nice and tight. There's no play or wiggle or slop. They're good to go. I don't know what else to say. This was the stock shifter that came with the transmission. I kind of chopped it, welded it, modified. I was just kind of playing around to decide how I wanted my good one to be. But that comes with it if you want it. It's got a TRD shift knob if you think that's cool. And last, this is just the box of spare parts that that I took out of the transmission when I went through it. So that's the input shaft I was telling you about, the third, fourth gear slider that couples it, the bearing retainer that was replaced by a Marlin crawler unit, shift forks that were replaced by drift motion, old trans mount seals, and just the odds and ends. Yours if you want them, otherwise I'll scrap them. So I think that's about it. Thank you very much for watching.